Imagine a city choking under relentless traffic, power cuts plunging entire neighborhoods into darkness for hours, and absolutely no greenery or trees around. This was Delhi in the late 1990s. Lack of flyovers in public transportation meant insane levels of traffic, and rapid unplanned urbanization resulted in severe environmental degradation. At 26 square kilometers, Delhi's green cover was less than 5% of its total area and far less than the recommended 33%. On top of that, Delhi's electricity board was the most loss making electricity board in the entire country. But then comes this incredible lady. She was not only Delhi's longest serving chief minister, but also India's longest serving woman chief minister. During her tenure, Delhi got India's largest and the world's eighth largest metro network. She built world class infrastructure, including 75 flyovers and several underpasses. In fact, under her, Asia Pacific's best airport, what we currently call Terminal 3, was built. And guess what? At the same time, Delhi's green cover increased from 26 square kilometers to nearly 300 square kilometers. Her contributions to Delhi were so much that even leaders of opposing parties have really appreciated the work that she has done for Delhi. And yet, she had a very painful political downfall. Welcome to another video of our channel and to our 7th economic case study. What is her story and how exactly did she transform Delhi? Let us find out in this video. Sheila Dikshit was born on March 31st, 1938 in Kapurthala, Punjab. She completed her education from Delhi University, where she earned a master's degree in history. Her political journey began in the 1970s when she was introduced to politics by her father-in-law, Uma Shankar Dikshit. He was a prominent Congress leader and a former union minister. But it was only starting 1984 when Sheila Dikshit started rising to prominence. In 1984, she was elected as the MP or Member of Parliament from Kannauj, Uttar Pradesh. This was also the time when she started growing closer to the Congress leadership, particularly the Gandhi family. In fact, it was for this reason that Rajiv Gandhi in his cabinet picked her as a union minister where she was handling the Department of Parliamentary Affairs. In fact, in that very year, Indira Gandhi had nominated her to be the Indian delegate at the United Nations for the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. And as the time passed, in the same period, she had started gaining a reputation for her administrative and organizational skills. Finally, as a result of this, in 1998, she was chosen to head Congress's campaign for Delhi Assembly election, where it was going to be a very tight fight between BJP and Congress for obviously gaining prominence in Delhi. She was made the chief of the Congress party in Delhi, and that year, Congress ended up winning in Delhi, and she became the chief minister. Now, one of the reasons, if you come to think about it, why she rose into prominence so fast is because at that point in time, female representation in politics, in the parliament, and in the top leadership was close to negligible. So basically, back then there was a lot of skepticism with regards to whether she will be a good chief minister or not, just because she was a woman. But guess what? She ended up proving everyone wrong. There were three areas particularly where her work played a remarkable role in transforming Delhi. The first of which was infrastructure. Under her, Delhi saw rapid urban development. The first and the best example of this is the Delhi Metro. The Delhi Metro Corporation was set up jointly by the central government and the Delhi government in May 1995. However, the construction only began in 1998 when Sheila Dikshit came to power. Now, as we all know that the Delhi Metro by far is the busiest and India's largest metro network. It is also the 8th largest metro network in the entire world. But what you might not know is that she faced a lot of backlash from environmental groups and from opposing political parties. In fact, many people of the same political party as well. However, she still prevailed. On top of that, she went on to build 75 plus flyovers and several underpasses. The T3 International Airport, which she built as well, went on to be Asia Pacific's best airport. Now, all of these seem like simple tasks, but one thing that I do want you to recognize here is just how difficult it really gets to implement such projects in our country, primarily because of issues related to land acquisition, land banks, and so on. So she basically overcame all those hurdles and ended up implementing these projects, which is really the big deal. Anyway, now coming to the second aspect. What is incredibly interesting is that even while implementing these large-scale infrastructural projects, she was still able to increase Delhi's green cover from 26 square kilometers in 1997 to nearly 300 square kilometers as of 2010. What's even more interesting is that her contribution to environmental development goes beyond the green cover. Delhi's air quality in the late 1990s was amongst the worst in the world. To make this better, Sheila Dikshit spearheaded the bold decision of shifting the city's public transport systems, including buses and auto rickshaws, from diesel to CNG. Now, as you obviously would know, diesel is very polluting, but CNG, not really. Further, her government also focused on making the public transportation of Delhi better. Her government purchased 5,500 buses. And a large part of Delhi's 3.2 million passengers are still catered to by these buses even today. Okay, last but not the least was how she transformed Delhi's electricity board. Before Sheila Dikshit's intervention, Delhi Vidyut Board or DVB was synonymous with inefficiency. It was the most loss-making electricity board of the entire country. Their annual losses exceeded 1,000 crore rupees. Adjusted for inflation, this figure today would be about 5,000 crore rupees every single year. Further, it suffered from frequent power cuts and poor maintenance. By the way, their net transmission losses were 50%, which means 50% of all the electricity which was being produced was either somehow getting lost or stolen. This is why in 2002, Sheila Dikshit initiated the most ambitious privatization drives in the Indian power sector. The DVB was separated into three entities in the power generation, transmission, and power distribution space. Public-private partnership model was adopted, and this public-private partnership model aimed to bring professionalism, accountability, and investments. And guess the result. The net transmission losses went down from 50% to less than 18%. Now this too seems like a simple task, but guess what? This move of privatization faced a lot of resistance. Firstly from the DVB's employees, then from opposing political parties, and finally from her own political party, the Congress. Yet she managed to tackle all of these challenges by assuring job security and communicating the long-term benefits of this move to the public. As a result of this, private companies invested in modern infrastructure, improving billing systems and reducing theft. Today's Delhi power supply has become far more reliable, resilient and with much lesser wastage. Now, despite her amazing work, she has had a political downfall as well. Her downfall started with the allegations of corruption on the Congress party by Anna Hazare and his prodigy, or what many consider to be his washout, Arvind Kejriwal. Allegations on the Sheila Dikshit government particularly were with regards to the Commonwealth Games. In fact, at the opening of the Commonwealth Games, when Suresh Kalmadi, the chairman, was announced and invited, the crowd started booing.
All the controversy is a thing of the past, but not for everybody, not for Suresh Kalmadi. Clearly, when he came on to speak, the crowd reacted rather angrily.
समिति राष्ट्रमंडल खेल दिल्ली 2010 के अध्यक्ष श्री सुरेश कलमाडी का
The crowds continued to boo Suresh Kalmadi as he spoke, perhaps an indication that the allegations of corruption that have been heaped on the organizing committee haven't and won't be forgotten.
There has been a month ago questions were being asked if the games would be held at all.
By the way, even then when Sheila Dikshit's name was announced, the crowd cheered. Regardless, when the Congress party lost the Delhi elections in 2013, many fractions within Congress started blaming Sheila Dikshit for the same. Even though she briefly became the governor of Kerala, it only lasted 6 months, after which she resigned. So basically, this was her exit from politics and what many could call her downfall. I personally feel that she was just collateral damage. Regardless, let me know your thoughts on the same and what you think of some of her policies and decisions. And as always, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, do check out some of our other economic case studies as well. And as always, thank you so much for watching.